Episode of Watch Out for Fireballs is brought to you by our patrons, all of our patrons at patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv, but specifically Exotic Minivan, Taylor Trimarchy, and Chris Van Overeen. Thank you very much. Or Overeen? Again, apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. Love you very much. I'm just bad at reading in eyes and brains. Thank you all very much. If you'd like to join them, please go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Cole Ross.
And you're listening to Watch Out for Fireballs. It is a Games Club podcast.
And this week we are talking about The Coin Game, which is a simulation game developed and published by Devoted for the PC in 2019.
Yeah. This is a weird episode for lots of reasons. Lots of fun reasons.
Yeah.
One, this is the first game to, we always said, if we did something on Abject Suffering, it wouldn't mean we wouldn't do it on WAF. But that was a fun little deception that the boys had where it was theoretically that was true, but we'd never do it.
We dangled it in front of the games that we cover on Abject Suffering because to give them the tiniest amount of hope is the cruelest of all.
Yeah, and that's how we suck the energy out of their spines and stuff. But this game made the trek like a salmon. It has gone upstream and become a mighty dragon. Or a carp rather. The salmon actually do that. They're way better than that Japanese carp legend. Salmon just do it. They don't even get to turn into dragons. They just get to nut.
The thing is, the Coin Game was always a Gyarados. We just, it's just a fun little weird thing. There are people who are listening who might not know what Abject Suffering is.
That's true. That is our comedy podcast, where we use a quote unquote bad game as a jumping off point. But then we just kind of joke for 1/2 of an hour. Yes. Or talk about the most serious, bleak shit that's ever been. It's one or the other. It is a Russian roulette. You spin the chamber and it's either going to be like us trying to be funny or us just like absolutely doing a group therapy about the state of the world. And there's no warning.
Go ahead.
Yeah. There's no warning. So that showed up on this and we were both just like, oh, this actually rules. Like this isn't bad at all. And I have stuck with it. So I was very wanted it on this the pick of short games we have for when we have a hole in the schedule. We have a hole in the schedule. This has made it.
Yeah. The other reason that this is different for us, and I kind of like this, even though I can kind of see it going against the show's remit just a little bit, is this is a mostly done early access game.
I was going to say, this is very much in continuous active development as we speak. Like just around a couple months ago, a early access for a new biome started that I joined, which is half finished. You just get to go check it out, but it's continuously happening.
The mall, right?
Yeah. So messed around in the mall. This is just an ongoing concern. So it is a moving target. We set out to be Scholar of the First Send with this. And because of that, and because a lot of the actual gameplay in this game is describing ticket games, which is weird, we're going to probably take a little chummier and more zoomed out kind of look at this. Like it's not going to quite be oops all generalities, but part of my goal for this is to sell people on this game. I want this developer to be able to keep making this. And I think that this is really cool. And I think that their attitude is really admirable. I find the whole thing very heartening.
Yes. And I mean, just to triple underline that, this is a great game. You should buy it,
Yeah.
especially if you have any kind of affection for specifically like fun center kind of stuff. You know,
Yes.
like if your arcade when you were young, if you grew up with arcades was anything like mine, you know, the ones that we used to go to, there was like a section with the video games, you know,
Hmm.
and that's where our arcade specials are. And then there was the section where you could play games for tickets, so you could buy, a mustache comb and a stick of gum, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is about the latter. See it as a companion for. We did an episode about fun centers, and a lot of the
Hmm.
stuff we talked about there is represented here.
Yes.
And also, kind of weirdly, like a little bit of the Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza episode as well.
I'm also going to make an argument that there is a weird kind of ephemeral beauty to this game.
Yeah.
That is, I don't know how much of it is intended,
Hmm.
but because of the specific choices the developer made in emulating something very simple, I think he stumbled upon something like legitimately pretty kind of beautiful,
Yeah.
which I want to get into as well. So like, this will be a weird episode, and it will be, hopefully a lot of people will like it, and then some people will find it insufferable, which is, we can tell who did our job. He
Hmm.
had something interesting to say about it.
Yeah.
The basic remit of this is you play a kid, the only human kid, on Islandville, which is a secluded town and an island, and it is has all the markers of being economically depressed, except that it's thriving and it's full of arcades and fun centers and carnivals.
By full, I think you mean there is a lot of space. There are like, you know, empty buildings and stuff like that. Maybe a couple of suburban houses, and there are like six of them. Yeah.
Yeah. The ratio is about one per house almost. But then there are all these like rundown convenience stores and pawn shops and factory jobs as well.
Yeah.
Like this is, just a mini exhibit in there's a melancholy beauty to this game.
Yes.
If you took the arcades out of this game, it would be a cart life,
Yeah.
you know, basically.
Yeah.
There's a yearning kind of fantasy to this.
Yeah.
Most of it, as we mentioned, these are physically modeling, using physics models to create ticket games,
Hmm.
simulations of ticket games. If you don't know what we're talking about here, think about like skee ball, anything where you hit a big red button to stop a light that's moving
Yeah.
around a circle, stuff like that. Claw
Hmm.
machines, the titular coin pushers, which are where the coin game comes from.
Hmm.
I've always heard of them as coin pushers.
Yeah.
But these are hard things to explain if you don't know what they are. And I don't know how much of this is cultural. I know that Japan has a large ticket arcade
Hmm.
culture. I don't know about the rest of the world.
Yeah. So like these, I always kind of thought of them as like mechanized carnival games. I think if
Yes.
you have any kind of carnival culture, it's not like, you know, the big festival before or before Lent carnival, but like, you know, like, oh yeah, this is a place where you take kids and, you know, people set up games of dubious fairness, you know,
Yes.
based around, you know, simple physical tasks. And if you are successful, you get a small you get a small trinket. Then that's what this is, except you get tickets that can be redeemed at a counter by a very impatient man who really just wants you to pick which color of kazoo you're going to get.
Yes. Realistically observed. Um, what this ends up meaning as a video game, this is really ambitious because it's emulating, like, I don't know how many there are, probably 50 or 60
Hmm.
mini games. And there are varying degrees of like jank to
Oh,
them.
yeah.
Some of them are better than others in terms of
Hmm.
accuracy of physics.
Yes.
In general, though, it is about creating this kind of feeling about it. It's super fun and janky, and the whole game is like that.
Hmm. And this is
It's
this is
weird.
charming jank. I think we are pro jank. I do not want anybody to interpret this as us saying like, oh, this is a mark against it. Like, I don't know, it feels almost accurate because like bullshit happens at these machines, and that's
Yeah.
kind of part of the, you know, in real life, and that would be part of the, you know, the joy. You would not be able to, you know, say that you had properly captured this if you didn't get, you know, get that kind of part of it in there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a, and it does vary. There are
Yeah.
things that work with this kind of physics model better than others,
Hmm.
and we'll talk about those individually. So it's not all wins with that,
No.
but it does feel appropriate.
Hmm. Yeah. And more games are being added, right? And I think what's important about this that sets it apart is, we talk about this ephemeral beauty. That wouldn't be possible if this was just a menu where you picked the game you wanted to play, and it
That
was,
option is there.
it
Yeah,
is
like
there.
they
Yeah.
added that in. If you want to practice these games, and I forget a lot of the official names for these. I refer to them as the actual names, but like something like Safecracker, which is a fun arcade ticket game, like skill based, legitimately fun. If you want to practice that, so you get good at it in the game, you can.
Yeah.
But the metaphor is really important. The fantasy is exceedingly important in this.
Yeah, the wrapper is like it's a life sim basically. And there are two modes that will determine exactly how simmy that is going to be. But like it is important that the arcade is modeled as a physical space and things are laid out roughly, kind of according to category or where they would fit. And there are other kids running around. Like if you get a big win, quote unquote people will run up and watch and cheer and stuff like that. And there are like multiple different kinds of arcades kind of modeled in this, and I feel like I've been in one that kind of maps to each of these,
in addition to having the spaces in between,
yes,
which are crazy important. Like you have this collection of arcade machines in there that give them their own specific identity, each location, each fun center, but then these large swaths of empty, dark, quiet space between them.
This is such an inversion of the Gary adage, I think, coined by Will: verbs, not vibes. Like the outside stuff in this is almost entirely vibe. Yeah.
It's real, but it works. It's the exception that makes the rule on multiple levels. And it's the power of really, really charismatic theming.
Yes.
That's like very important to me.
But it's very fun because like there's a curfew in the survival mode. This is like Midwestern industrial blight Shenmue.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Except fun, like except they don't talk to you constantly, and it's not the worst dialogue you've ever heard in your life, and there aren't like tons of unskippable animations for taking off and putting on your shoes.
Hey, we're not putting Shenmue on trial here today.
I am,
and I'm not here.
I told you this is going to be an experimental episode. It's put 40 minutes on the clock. But I'm just saying I think that there's a marked difference. Like it has those good things about Shenmue.
Yeah. I'm being a little bit glib with it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. If Shenmue was just that stuff, I think it would be a better game. Personally. Just having that stuff. When you talked about the different modes, we talked about survival mode. One of the cool realizations I had in playing this seriously and paying more attention to it is that both birthday mode and survival mode are fantasies. Like are different kinds of fantasies. The way survival mode in this would never work in real life. It was just a weird idea that people have as kids to create a little grift, like create a little like trading route for themselves, like lemonade stand their real life. But it's still a fantasy. There's no school. There's very few actual like responsibilities. The responsibilities are getting enough soda, for the day.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to put it. Survival mode in this is kind of like, what if I was trapped in the mall for a week?
Yeah. Also a fantasy. Yeah. They're both two different kinds of fantasies, which I really love. So the setting, the way that it's, you are the only human. So this is part of that ephemeral beauty and that weird loneliness of this. You're the only human, and the island is pretty sparsely populated.
Yeah.
And all the creatures on it are inflatable robots.
Yeah.
They do look a little bit like bullet vibrators, even though they don't have a flared base. So you should never use this vibrator, or at least don't stick it inside your hoo-ha or your butthole because you'll lose it. And Islandville does not have a doctor, even though it has 6 arcades.
Yeah. You go to what looks like a doctor's office in the mall and just a bunch of people competitively playing Operation. Yep.
Yeah. Just like, fuck.
God damn it.
Tickets start coming out of your mouth as soon as they fix you.
Ding, 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 ding. Where's that sound coming from?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But people can't talk. Really, they kind of yay, and they'll make like kind of little noises. The regular citizens.
Yes.
Then there are people who work places who can talk, but they just have a couple of repeating lines. They're not really characters. Like it gives you big. You are the only human in a simulation.
Yeah.
feelings, even though they're coded to be your friends, you can't interact with them in any kind of friendly way.
No.
In birthday mode, you roll up in a limo with all your friends. They pile out to have fun. It's not like you can pick a specific friend and play air hockey against them.
Nope.
You play air hockey, and then a random anonymous bot walks up. And they do a lot of work to give them the illusion of kind of like these robots trying to emulate humanity. Like you'll find like two of them sitting in a truck, you know, just hanging out. Like maybe they're breaking up, you know, maybe they're sharing a cigarette, like things like that. Like you'll find situations like that, but there's no content to it.
No,
it's just the shadows on the cave wall of that shit.
I just, man, I laughed out loud when I saw just a bunch of like just these robots dressed up like punks hanging around a barrel fire behind the arcade, or behind the pawn shop. And I walked up, and then like one of them just kind of like started walking toward me. I was like, oh, hey, that's the first time any of them have reacted. And then he just kind of bumped into me, and I took a health hit. Like, oh no, they're punks.
Oh shit,
I'm gonna be bullied.
Even though you can grab them and throw them because they're inflatable toys. You know, but they're programmed to pretend they're human. Like for your benefit, like huge Breakfast of Champions vibes to this whole thing.
They look like monsters to you.
The internal lives of them, like in addition to sometimes finding them doing things like that, there are all these little grace notes, like on the rooftops of all these things. There's little sets of lawn chairs with like, you know, a couple empty drinks where people go up there to take breaks, and you can go up there. There's no reason to. Like in survival mode, you can recycle their garbage for money. But other than that, like it's just these little notes that make this look like an idea of a lived in place.
Yeah. Your mom. So in survival mode, you have a home, and your mom is one of these things too, like done up like a stereotypical old lady, like hair in curlers. She has a walker that just kind of moves in front of her because none of these really have arms.
Yeah, they don't have arms or feet. They just kind of cruise around. They're Roombas with inflatable like boxing dummies on top.
And so you, as the only human here, trapped on this island because both of the bridges off of this are blocked by overturned fuel carriers and army transports.
Incredible. It happened at the same time. Both bridges out of town had a chemical leak and are being guarded by the fucking U.S. Army bots. When I first like traveled out there to like see what, you know, Islandville East, Islandville West, did they add
Is that
more
a new
content?
map?
Yeah. And you know, eventually maybe will be, you know, but as is now, it's just this very, very funny, spooky thing that's happened to you. Very The Room-esque, like Silent Hill 4.
Yeah. You know, it's like a Twilight Zone episode that was themed around the wire monkey experiment.
Yes.
Like what if you were just like whisked away to a world where it was the wire monkey, and like, yes, you get the food, it is there for you, but there is no affection, there is no humanity, there is no warmth. It is just a like kind of obscene facsimile.
It is Black Mirror. What if your mom had Wi-Fi writ large? Going to those bridges is a great moment of this. The initial mode that they had packed with this, Fantasy 1, is birthday mode.
Yes.
You have a rich Uncle Phil. He's rent out all the arcades in town. He has paid to fill the money machines, the money grabber machine, which I've always wanted to do one of those in real life, even though I know they're expensive and you don't make your money back or they wouldn't exist.
Right.
But they look really thrilling to me. They also look like you'd have to take a shower afterwards.
Oh, I mean, it's cash. It's not just like, oh, the money touched me. It is aerosolizing whatever is on those dollar bills.
It is like just breathing in.
Yeah.
Like,
they just
money feces.
Yeah.
Like,
120 of these has just been hanging around in someone's duodenum.
Yep. Just like a nonstop keistered cash at rock bottom prices.
We had my first time seeing one of those, like a minute in the money machine was a prize for like a middle school fundraiser, you know, like selling magazine subscriptions or whatever. And it's just like, oh God, I want a minute in that money machine.
I gotta get in the money machine. The trick to the money machine is because we'll talk about this. One of the reasons why I like this more than Shamu is that I have a sick little thrill about carnivals. And games of scam and stuff like that. And I like learning the tricks to beat them, even though I don't like playing them that much. So like the trick to the money machine is you let money come to you. You create a flat surface and you let money press up against it. But anywho, so your uncle has rented out all the money machines.
Yes. Money machine's like a phone booth, but like with a leaf blower kind of thing attached to it that blows around watered up paper currency. Yeah.
Yes. So you just grab as much as you can. So you can do this as much as you want. There. You fast travel around by limousine. You can call it on your phone. You also get a golf cart with unlimited access there. Real cute little touch. The limousine, when it leaves the Back to the Future thing, so it doesn't have to drive out of wherever you go.
It's so good.
There. It's real cute.
Yeah.
So yeah, your friends all drive around, even though when you're like, hey, drive me out to the abandoned, the abandoned forest trails, and you just arrive alone, and the chauffeur lets you out and then leaves you. God, I love it.
It's so good. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that is free reign. All of the I mean, I was going to say the games are free play. You just have to refill your money by going into the money machine, but nothing is off limits to you.
Yes.
And kind of importantly, there are no meters to take care of. It's literally just money and then go play. But that is the fantasy. It's just, what if I was the king of this town?
Yep. And I think everyone has, you go as a kid, like, I don't know how budgets have changed, but for me as a kid, the amount of money I would get for an arcade was $5.
Yes.
So when I go to an arcade, I would get 20 quarters. That'd be my time. And it might have to last me like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. So this idea of being in a post scarcity, arcade or fun center is a really powerful fantasy. I can just play whatever I want. There's no rules. You also, with this mode and also with the next mode as well, but the twin fantasy of this is I can do whatever I want in this town.
Yeah.
I'm going to go buy fireworks and shoot them off. I'm going to flick my rubber band gun and shoot fireworks at this guy. He's just there, Yep. I'm going to creep around. What's behind that factory? Like, I've always gone by that factory and stuff. That looks cool. I wonder what's back there. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Nothing's stopping you.
Nobody cares enough to stop you.
Yeah. Because you're the only human. Because it's Breakfast of Champions rules in this fantasy. Yep. It is a dark fantasy. Your mom's got Wi-Fi.
But yeah, it's this, for me, it's the survival mode, because all that you have is exclusively, because you've got to take care of your hunger meter and your energy meter and stuff like that. And you need to spend money. Like there's like a convenience store where you can buy junk food, or very expensive, like prepared sandwiches, or there's like a supermarket where you can buy stuff that needs to be microwaved at your house. Like, it is just entirely soda and microwave Salisbury steaks. Like, a person who lived like this would not survive, would not be able to survive a week.
Well, it's weird though. Like, when you're a kid, like, I could eat like this kind of trash.
Oh yeah,
and be fine. Like, it's adult, this would kill you. But I guess that's a third vector of fantasy, because like, it is kind of, I can eat anything.
Yeah.
It's, I can drink 2 Mountain Dews without wanting to puke. As a fantasy. Like, and I like Mountain Dew. That's not even me bagging on Mountain Dew. I just, can't do.
There's a time and place for that, and that's drinking a 2-liter
25. You just do it when you're 1. But this is the game part of it. And this came later. You have this life sim, and you are basically gaming this child economy, where the only thing you can get are odd jobs and arcade sales, things like winning prizes and selling them to maintain your meters. You have pets. You live with your mom. You have pets. You have a pet goose who follows you around the house, and you have a fish. You can choose to keep them alive or not. If you choose not to keep them alive, you're a fucking monster.
Come on, feed that duck.
Yeah. And you use this town's arcade, junk food, and odd job economy, chores and stuff to survive.
Yes.
As long as you can. The chore stuff was all added later. There's like now lawn mowing and babysitting and newspaper delivery, stuff like that. That they added into the game. So you can get a job for squares, but then you don't realize the real grift, which is going to the carnival and selling snow cones and hot dogs. Stuffed snow cones and hot dogs, which command improbably high prices at the pawn shop.
And in addition to the weird bounty system that they have, which is occasionally they'll just like, I desperately need an inflatable saxophone.
Yep. I will buy as many inflatable saxophones as you have. Don't ask questions. Black Mirror.
Yeah. But yeah, and you're taking care of your meters. I love how each of the places has their own little food kind of thing.
Hmm.
Like they've got vending machines. The one place has just like a pizza snack bar
Hmm.
where you can deliver pizzas if you want to. I liked that. I like that little job mini game the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to get back by curfew. You can't just operate 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Or your mom gets real mad at you. So that's a sub goal, is keep her happy. She gets real
Yes.
pissed. Um,
Getting around in this. So when I fired this up, I had been around in birthday mode and figured, okay, fine. Not realizing how important the fast travel was to that.
yeah.
Here I am starting at my house and like, all right, clock's ticking. I am watching my meters tick down. How am I going to get where I need to go? I didn't realize that I had a bike there. I thought that I would have to win the bike
Oh,
because
yeah.
the Huffy is that is like the stereotypical, that is the archetypical like unattainable ticket prize, getting the
Yeah.
bike. So I started like trying. I did my first couple tries trying to just run around the town, and I couldn't get anywhere in time before I realized, oh yes, there is a way to do this, which is to ride this
Yeah.
bike around where people will just run over you. The traffic does not respond as though you are a human.
No. Again, you're not, like, you are the only human, but they're not. They don't respond as if they're human.
Yeah.
It's Elon Musk's self-driving shit island. So just the fact that you have to have the bike shows how tight the economy is with this. Eventually, like all survival games, you will get post scarcity
Yeah.
in this, where you're making money hand over fist.
Mhm.
But getting to that point is fun.
Yeah.
Getting there, like, it's not balanced to be a rigorous survival game in the long term.
Mhm.
Like, it doesn't have escalating stakes
Yeah.
or money sinks that feed into its other systems very much.
Mhm.
So eventually, like, I was just like, okay, like, I'm selling hot dogs and snow cones. I can just do this and take care of my needs. And now I'm just doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
I may as well be playing birthday mode at that point. But the climb to get there is real fun.
Yeah.
So you get around on your bike. The bike is one of the big physics fails in this IMO. It controls weirder than any vehicle in any game. And you have to pick it up using kind of like a Fallout 3 grab an object by the corner physics kind of thing to set it upright to ride on it.
No, I just right clicked it and then I went.
It wouldn't work if it were on the ground for me.
Weird.
I had to lift it up, and I looked it up. I was like, am I the only person having this problem? It might be because of the experimental shopping mall beta. Maybe they've changed the physics, but I had to set it upright to ride it.
That's annoying.
Which was real finicky.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, my big physics thing was when I was trying to deliver papers. There's no just like throw this, like aim and then hit somewhere. It's not like Paperboy, right, where you can just kind of get it in the zone. You have to like pick the rolled up paper up by the corner and then like just guide it in.
Yep.
It's real.
It
ends up being like it is the most time consuming part, even more time consuming than just getting around to each of these places to make those deliveries.
Selling a lot of stuff at once is also very funny, like trying to cram everything into the thrift bot, the pawn bot, gaping maw. You get, all this stuff can be tricky. This is not related to survival mode, but did you get them all?
No, I didn't.
Okay. In the mall, there's a Spencer's. You can buy a hoverboard, which was exceedingly exciting to me because, like, that's it's right in the pocket for what fantasy this is selling. It controls weirder and worse than any vehicle I've ever played with in a video game. Like, it is not done. And it's an early access zone. I don't blame them. It's real cool to like look inside the mall because you're going to see the stuff they're going to have. They're going to have movies where you can either see movies or you can work there, like get popcorn and stuff. There's a Spencer's, there's a bank, jewelry store, candy store, stuff like that. It's pretty neat. And like a bespoke arcade in there as well that has some new games in it. But the big prize was the hoverboard, and it does not work. So that is not your transportation solution. The real thing you want to get eventually is the golf cart, which again, every kid's dream, but then you have to keep it gassed up.
Yes. Yeah. Boy, just about ran out of gas at the end of one of those bridges. Didn't realize there was a gas meter.
Yep, and didn't realize you have no reason to go out to those bridges unless it's just curiosity. Like that's explorations for survival mode.
Yes.
Otherwise, you kind of turn into the guy from Stardew Valley in this as well, where you are scrounging trash.
Yes.
For food. Punks might come up and attack you, but there will be usable food, unscratched scratcher lotto tickets, and cans you can sell and stuff in the garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. In addition to at those like rooftop little camp out things, or you can just go on the nature trails to somebody's abandoned campsite and raid that like a bear.
We're like exactly like a bear. It also they haven't really done it yet, but we mentioned those nature trails. We talk about the different areas of the island. We'll mention this. These are some of the scariest portions of games that don't have anything that happen in them. To me, like going through the nature trails at night is real spooky.
And walking out during the day and then being at the far end and then the note of the sun went down. All I have is my very weak flashlight.
Yep. I had to make my way back. Like nothing's happening. There are no other conscious beings on this island. For all the world, it seems like there should be an Easter egg where if you go out there at the right time, you get abducted or something.
Yeah.
They're adding like the gentleman, the devoted guy, has talked about adding a lot more Easter egg stuff out in the corners of the map.
Yeah.
One of my favorite little moments that was like that was I went out to the edge of the lake and I looked across the lake and it looked like there was a structure. And I was like, oh, interesting. Like, is that just like a blip, or like a little discarded building or something? So I started trying to swim across the lake.
Okay.
You don't swim. You walk across the lake like an animate suit of armor across the bottom of it.
You're like Wolverine.
Like Wolverine might walk across the lake. Like early on when you're in the lake, you can press space to slowly move up. But eventually that went away and it gets so dark and the draw distance gets so short that like I couldn't tell that if I was walking in place about halfway through the lake. It was real fucking The Abyss moves, but with a lower body count. And you eventually run into a wall and you can't move any further, but it's surprisingly far out there. And it was real creepy to navigate my way back. Yeah. And then I realized I was in survival mode. So I just had a limo pick me up from the bottom of the lake.
You were in birthday mode? Wait, the limo came and picked you up?
Yeah. You just cut to being in a limo.
Oh yeah.
It just does a one scene missing.
And he was rescued by, let's say, Mo.
It's exactly. Let's say Uncle Mo.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Did you die when you were in survival mode?
No, I did not.
Yeah. So in those abortive first times when I was trying to get around on foot, I did die. It is very fun. Each time I died when my I think it was energy that bottomed out. Your character just falls over, and as you're like, my camera just kind of clipped through his arm a little bit. You could just tell that the model kind of ragdolled as it went, and then you get a very cute newscast with some like improvised dialogue. Like, yeah, this kid just apparently didn't eat his Cheetos. Yeah, just collapsed.
Huge Cheeto deficiency. Like accidentally went to go check out one of the twin oil spills, gas leaks, and didn't have enough Cheeto to survive.
And as this is going, like the live footage of your mom now having an Inspector Gadget helicopter blades coming out of her head, just choppers down.
Oh, that's incredible!
To pick up your guy and then take you away,
and probably reclimate you into a new human, wherever the fiction of this game is. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned a couple times, this is super modest. This is made by one guy. Just really, really cool. Very responsive to fans. It's really heartening. If you want to have a good, like, games are good feeling, go to the Steam Community Hub page for this and read through the thread of suggested things and watch the developer interact with people. And it's all so fucking quaint and innocent and good.
Yeah.
It's very pure.
Yeah. This does feel like a product of both nostalgia and love.
Yeah. And everybody, there's so little toxicity.
Yeah.
In it. It's just like somebody's like, oh man, it would be cool if this could happen. And then the developer's like, that would be cool. That's a great idea. I'll work on that. Like, it's very sweet.
Sound wise, I think they do a good job of capturing the arcade ambience, which is very important. These are soundscapes as well, and it gets creepily silent and sparse when you're outside.
Yeah, I kind of, it would make a lot of sense for the Kid Fantasy to port in a Walkman. I kind of don't want them to, because it would make it not scary.
You need to really be present.
Yeah, in the darkness. The person who makes this, a gentleman named Kevin, lives in Michigan. This. Prior to this, they had made a couple of racing simulators, one for RC cars and one for little off-road cars.
Yeah.
And they are a motorsports fan.
Yeah.
Of this.
Very charmingly, one of their earlier indie games was a simulator for a commercial lathe for rebuilding RC car motors.
Yeah, man, lathe simulator.
I laughed out loud when I saw commercial lathe simulator.
Yeah, hell yeah, sicko mode engage.
Yep.
Yeah. There's not a lot of information on this person. They have a Twitter account, but they just announce updates. I have DM'd them and said, make Gary and Cole voices, please, in one of your expansions, because that would be awesome. And I hate the supporting the idea of working for free, but I would do it for free if I got to be like the grumpy jeweler in the mall. That would be so fun.
Yeah. And just this, looking for other information, just the Steam News Hub for this is just, a few years, 4 years now of steady development announcements, and then betas and stuff coming out, and feature lists. Like, just, it's real, just here's the game, just product forward kind of stuff.
One of the things I love about the relationship between this and the actual game itself is that when things are being worked on, they get a presence inside the game world as well. There are little opening soon signs that'll pop up on things, and they do open. Yeah. Before One-Eyed Billy's, the pirate-themed arcade, the most recent arcade that was added, there was a building for it that said coming soon. And, it was announced on the page as well, but then they updated the game to reflect it. Same thing with individual games. You'll go into an arcade and there'll be wooden crates that are not open yet.
Yeah.
These are eventually planned to be different games, or a game will be out of order. Like, just depending on where the developer is, and has he created the model for the game but not the physics? The model can be there and be out of order. Is he not? Is he just have the concept? He doesn't have the model yet. It'll be a crate.
I think that we just kind of described liking a game that is a live service.
It weirdly, except it doesn't cost a fee.
Yeah, true.
Like it's just constantly being updated. It's like how Team Fortress 2, or something like that. Like, that's not a live. You could be insane and trade hats and stuff and cosmetics, but really, like, that was just a game getting a lot of support.
Yeah.
Through there. And a live service is less gross when it's not a conglomeration of like EA, revenants trying to separate me from my money. It's just a guy who's like, hey, I'm going to continue working on this. Like, you already bought it and you're happy, but I'm going to keep working on this. If you want to give me money, like, I shelled out the extra money for it to be the founder edition or whatever, just because I want to see the spigot keep going. But the amount of joy I've gotten playing and thinking about this game far outstrips the amount of money I've spent.
Yeah.
On it. The last little like bit I want to say that's just kind of general effusiveness. This game came out in 2019. I discovered this game in COVID times. What a perfect COVID game.
Yeah.
Like, when I was, I'm somebody who goes out and does stuff, not to brag, but like on weekends, like, me and Liv will go do something. I missed that so much when it was the hard lockdown portion of COVID, getting to like, hey, pretend to go play mini golf was really huge, in a simulated space. It wasn't just emulating mini golf, which there are 1,000 better games to do that. Like, the mini golf emulation of this is not great. It was emulating going to go on a date, like going to go play mini golf, having an outing. That was really cool to me.
No, I was definitely, when we did this for Abject Suffering, I was, feeling not having been to an arcade for a while.
Yeah. I really like that this emulates like the whole package. It reminds me a little bit in that way of Retro Game Challenge, which is another game I really admire, because it's not just about emulating the game. It's about emulating like an experience and a snapshot of what it feels like to, be young and enjoy games. This does that as well.
Yeah.
So that's the end of the generalities, and this is going to be a weird breezy episode. We threatened 10 years ago to start making shorter WAFs. Finally, it's going to happen. Because we're not going to describe every arcade game in this. Like us just describing the physics of 1,000 ticket games would be weird. We're going to talk about the different locations that you can get, and then some of our favorites. That you can do.
So let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. You start off in birthday mode at Larry's Arcade. Survival mode, you start at your house. Here you start at Larry's Arcade.
Larry's Arcade is the one that's kind of in the central part of town. Yes. That is closest to your house. This is going to be the first place you're likely to go.
And this is very explicitly a Chuck E. Cheese in that there are animatronics. You start off, you pull up in the limo, all the kids come out, they do their little yell, and you go into the birthday room full of snacks. And there's an animatronic band, Teddy and the Ticket Takers.
The Ticket Eaters.
Oh, Ticket Eaters. Thank you.
Yes.
One of my all-time favorite things you can do in this is jump up on the stage and get backstage.
Oh,
something I always wanted to do. And when there's Chuck E. Cheese and I want to get my arm crushed by a mechanical bumpkin.
Ow, those gears hurt.
Yeah. Can I get something in an Italian American stereotype that takes my finger?
I never. Yeah. So I didn't jump back there. I guess the thought never occurred to me. What's back there?
Nothing. It's just the things close, the curtains close. All the animatronics tilt forward because they turn off. It's spooky. The lights go out. It's really dark, and there's a button you can press to open the curtains so you can get out.
Yeah. Okay.
But other than that, you get to see what's backstage. It's about the seeing. It's not about what you see.
Yes. It's about the fact that the urge to jump back there and see what's going on was recognized by the designer. Yeah.
This is the beginning of some of the characters that we're going to have in this. There's one kind of major mascot to this game, but here are some lesser mascots. Here in the band. There's a giant foam finger on the drums. A yarn shark playing keyboard, Chug Mug Teddy on the guitar, and then the main kind of star of this Rasta Banana.
I love the Rasta Banana.
Referencing that story from 10, 12 years ago.
Wait, what story?
The guy who he was on the news because he ended up winning Rasta. He spent something like $500 to win a Rasta Banana. And it's exactly this Rasta Banana. It's what if a banana was heavily entrenched in Jamaican culture? I think he was trying to win something better, but it might have been so old that it might have been an Xbox 360.
Oh, okay.
He was trying to win and ended up spending $500 and walked away with a Rasta Banana.
And that's ultimately the economic lesson that all of us learn, which is it's easier just to buy the thing.
Yeah, just buy the Rasta Banana.
Yeah. But these are big versions of the prizes. You can buy, different. You can buy miniatures of these at the ticket counter. In addition to really good stuff, there's just straight up a cocaine mirror you can buy, you would win at carnivals.
Those carny mirrors, man. Whatever has been hair metal Hesher band would be on those. You get a Quiet Riot, cocaine mirror.
Oh, absolutely unlicensed. I had an unlicensed South Park cocaine mirror for a while.
Didn't use it. I was a Black Bart Simpson Slam Duncan.
Awesome. Slam Junkin.
Hello, I'm Slam Junkin.
There's a Himalayan salt lamp that you can buy as well. There are billboards for this thing up. Just magic lamp.
Funny. Magic. It's very funny. The cool thing about these prizes is they do have a purpose. You can pawn them, but you can also decorate your awesome garage layer, your Fonzie hole that you get to go into. So if you want to have a salt lamp, it can be functional as well.
Yeah. It can do whatever a salt lamp does.
Yeah. Mystic hippie stuff, I guess. Yeah. It keeps away the reptilians. So there are coin pushers here. Coin pushers. One of the things I was thinking about with these games that have this, so we don't end up describing these games in too much detail, is what is the appeal of these?
Yeah.
I found out on my honeymoon, my wife Liv is a ridiculous coin pusher aficionado and fan.
Oh,
and we spent a lot of time in the fun dungeon under Excalibur,
I
playing ticket
hate
games.
I hate the word fungin. Never say that again.
I think it's
That's a
actually called Fun Dungeon, but I
that's
just didn't want
propane
to. We're
maniacs.
propaniacs, yeah. Don't
Yeah,
want to
no,
propaniacs it.
fungin sounds like a terrible condition you get on your taint. Yeah.
It sounds like something you do when you eat a lot of Funyuns. Like I've been like, what? Hi man, what are you up to? I can't go out today. I'm fungin, and it just cuts to you and a bunch of Funyuns.
You'll have to speak up. I'm fungin.
Yeah, he's e-fungin. So these things where you push a coin, like they basically work based on the principle of like anticipation.
Yes.
Like they create this it's due for a win thing, but without you having to imagine it. Like it physically represents, oh, it's due for a win.
Yeah.
As a thing.
Yeah, just because you're dropping in and the coin is like scraped into a bigger field of coins by this mechanical shelf that moves in and out. And like it's the idea that like I don't know, I always felt like I was getting one over on everybody who came before me, because
Yeah.
like
They set it up. You're staying on the shoulder of giants.
yeah, it's like when you're when you start dating somebody who somebody else just like did a bunch of work on, trying to get them like
sure.
to be not uncouth.
Yeah,
swoop in.
Yeah,
Just gonna vulture that shit.
Pigmillion.com for your dating needs.
Yeah, it's very specific. Yeah, no, but just you do feel like you're getting one over on everybody else before you. I mean, it's basically the same principle as a jackpot, right?
Yeah. Except it's visually represented. It's a jackpot, and you can see how close it is to tipping over. This ends up meaning there's a little bit of strategy in choosing which game to play. You're going around and you're checking to see how like pregante the different coin pushers are, like how fecund with bounty they are.
Something that's strange, the coin pushers that I remember playing as a kid, when the coins would fall, like that would convert into tickets. In this, the coins falling is not necessarily correlating to payout. It is more the things that are among the coins, and then also little bonuses that happen along the way of dropping the coin in. They can be timing, mostly timing based kind of things, that will cause like little bonus spin kind of things. I've never played a coin pusher exactly like the one that is represented here among all of
them. There are modern coin pushers that are closer to this. Like the timing the light on the word coins. That thing, I played a coin pusher like that.
Yeah.
Before. And then the ones where you collect the cards of every color, that is very popular right now.
Gotcha.
Throwing those little cards in there, and they'll be licensed. So it'll be like Lord of the Rings coin pushers, and you'll collect all the fellowship, and you'll get a little card, and you can then keep that card as a collector's item, or it's worth a certain amount of tickets if you trade it in.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, kind of revealing. I've not really played a ticket game. I mean, last time I played a coin pusher was probably, I don't know, 25 years ago.
Oh, you're due.
Yeah.
It's you can have some fun with it. There are games that you kind of you've got them in the notes here as a scraper game, which is accurate, but I don't think it doesn't describe it either. Like they're kind of weird to explain. It's games where there's like a physical implement, like a moving field and a physical implement that pushes things around on it. And you're basically timing the release of an object to try to get something to push out into move it to an appropriate place.
To a prize hole. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like get it into the prize hole.
Yeah. There's elements of timing on this one as well. This also can end up being, so like for Hockey Hut, the one that's in a dome right by the front door there. You want to this will be randomized, the density of where things are, so that you want to be able to get a bunch of stuff bunched up, and possibly get more than one drop on a single swing.
Yeah. Some of these are also the ones we've had so far are only barely skill based.
Yeah.
We're going to run into more that are more skill based. One of these scraper games has a little digging arm. It's called Treasure in the Sand, where you have to scrape all these gold nuggets into the prize hole without touching the middle, without hitting like an irritating stick in the middle, basically.
Yeah, that didn't. I mean, it just kind of seemed real simple. Probably one of those games where if I was playing it more in survival mode, it would be a high yield kind of thing.
Any of them that are skill based, you can get pretty consistent wins on.
Oh yeah.
In these.
Yeah.
There's skee ball in this, of course. One of the things I like about this version of skee ball is the way they stop you from being able to just, I know the timing of this is they reset your arm.
That is a huge deal. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty good emulation of skee ball, other than that. And real skee ball strats work for this as well.
Yeah.
Always aiming up the middle, aiming for the 40. So if you get over or under, you still get good points.
Yeah. And then just figuring out, like with any of these things that are like roughly in like the golf meter category, charged shot kind of deals, figuring out where on the meter corresponds to how much force,
Yep.
is a big part of that. I like the skee ball in this. The other ones though feel a little bit like there's the Price is Right wheel one, the Big Bass Wheelin', which is literally just a slot machine.
Yeah. Some of them are definitely that.
Yeah,
for sure. There are claw games in this. One where you're grabbing balls that are full of tickets. One where you're grabbing letters that spell out Larry's. That have different values. These are more fair than most real claw machines.
Yeah.
But you have the limited perspective. You can only look on from the front. Whereas when you play a real claw machine, you can tilt your head around to the side and check out your Y axis.
You also have like depth perception,
that is true.
You don't
have
shadows are being cast. Yeah.
It is. You do see in 3 dimensions largely.
Yeah, it's like that is one of the things about simulating these, which is like, oh yeah, there are definitely spatial cues that having your body in the space, from having your body in the space that can't be replaced by just an audio visual kind of simulation.
And it varies depending on the game. Some of them translate pretty well. We're gonna get a bunch of my favorite games are over in later arcades. That we're going to talk about specifically in One-Eyed Billy's, and they end up like your spatial element doesn't affect it that much.
Right.
Yeah. Same thing with some of these. There's a speed drop in this. This is a real interesting thing about this is for real ticket hound people. This is a game you can consistently win. There, you have to drop 50 rubber balls into these rotating cylinders, and you have to drop all of them to get the jackpot. You have to hit all of 50, which you can do. You have to do 4 balls per cylinder and 5 balls into one of them, and that does it. So if you can do that within the time, you can win. So if you have a little practice, you can always win this. If you get anything less than the jackpot, it's not very good.
Yeah. No, I just I like it's funny because the bounce on these doesn't really matter very much. It's just just okay, am I dropping it at the right time?
The bounce doesn't matter in the physical version of this one very much either. There's like a deadening thing where if you get them in the cylinder, they don't bounce. So as long as you hit,
don't hit the rim.
Stack them up. Yeah, this is a real game as well. I think is also just called Stack Up. This is skill based and is fun, I think.
Just you've got 3 blocks that kind of move left and right. Then you press a button to stop it, and then you have to keep stopping in the same place as it stacks up. You're aiming for like a particular height, and if you miss, if any of the 3 falls off, then you lose that, and you've got to kind of continue being more precise as it goes on. Yeah,
eventually it will lower on its own. Even if you make no errors, you eventually will just have to hit 1 and hit the right spot.
Yeah,
but you can get tickets or you can get a major prize from this.
Yeah. One of these games that are just like, okay, you just you start stuff off and it's a little bit skill based, a little bit luck based. When you were a kid, did you ever play the game Avalanche? Or not Avalanche, Aftershock. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This was a game where you dropped a token in, and it was like rolling down almost like an inverted pinball machine, kind of deal. It was sloped away from you, and it was themed after like an earthquake. So it was like a destroyed city or whatever, and you were steering almost with like a little like a tilt bar, like bicycle bar kind of thing.
The landscape.
Yeah,
it was like a little bit like Labyrinth.
Yeah. So like you were trying to steer this token as it rolled down, trying to get it into the correct prize hole to get a bunch of tickets. Me, my dad, and my brother got really good at this when we would go to the laser arcade in the Kingsgate Mall in Mansfield, Ohio.
It's such a good feeling when there's like one of these you can consistently dominate at.
Yeah.
Like it is a weirdly good feeling.
Yeah.
There are a couple more of these that are just kind of standard. Nothing too big. And we're going to find variations and repeated arcade games.
Yes.
So we're just going to talk about the unique ones, but you'll still, they fill each other out.
Yeah.
And never stop sounding sexual.
It's kind of like admirable how little is repeated, almost to the point where it's like that is a bit of a downfall of the simulation, because you would see the same games at at multiple different places in your town.
Oh, even in multiple different places in multiple towns. Like this is such like uniqueness and saturation, for this zone. You can go around and explore as well. And this has some kind of minor, things in the central part of the map. There's this little industrial area with Larry's motel or Larry's arcade, the motel that's nearby it, the pawn shop, which is very important. This is where you're going to do survival mode.
So it is the very beating heart of this economy.
As children, that lemon tree is the heart of our economy. This is there's a little hole here where you can stick in as many objects as you want. You just get a cash payout. The cash payouts are ridiculous. In this, again, we are talking about $22 for the little flamingo toy or whatever. Yeah. And there are bounties, as we mentioned. Like this week, hot dogs are up 100%. And foam letters are down 100%.
Yeah.
So
I'm in Coke Mirror futures.
Yeah, it is. I'm a stuffed hog futures. There's a market, so we can buy stuff for survival mode. If you are not playing survival mode, the main appeal here is scratchers. Which are, again, as a kid, those held a fascination for me.
Oh my God. Like literally, again, the aforementioned Laser Arcade was right next to an Ohio Lottery scratcher store.
Oh yeah.
So again, just going with my dad, playing the arcade games and stuff. And he played with us, which was really fun. But then at the end we would go to the Buckeye Bakery and get a cookie, and then we would get some scratchers to play in the car on the ride home.
Yep, it's a blast, man. It makes you think of that bedtime stories with the Duke.
Oh yeah,
at the casino, that's all scratchers.
I mean, he needs brushed.
Yes, there's a fireworks stand. Again, just a kid fascination. They just do what they say. Yeah. And you can shoot them at people.
Shoot Roman candles at these inflatable robots.
Yeah, and they can't do it. They just make a little sad noise because they're robots. They don't feel nothing. But you can do that if you like, and get a bunch of different weird boxes of fireworks. A wide variety.
Yeah. There's the CD gas station where you can use the old timey pumps to get gas for your go-kart or for your golf cart if you would like to, if you bought that. And there's the paper stand to do if you're in survival mode, do the paper the paper boy job, which is one of the more consistent ones. Some of the jobs in survival mode you have to, it's just it is like every X number of days. Like you can't go mow that lawn.
You can't babysit every night.
Yeah.
I mentioned there's a pizza delivery job as well through Pirate Pizza. Pirate Pizza is probably what they serve at One-Eyed Billy's, the most recent arcade that they added to the game.
This rules. I like this so much.
It's so cool looking. There's a lot of verticality to it. Like it looks like it's just, I'm like, the smell of fiberglass in this place.
Yeah.
It's pirate themed. It's out by the docks. And this one, they added a bunch of cool stuff. They added putt-putt to it, some shooting galleries, and an RC boat pool.
Yeah.
Or, so you're driving around little remote control boats. It doesn't control great. No. And there's not very much to do.
No. You're just trying to avoid bumping into other boats and trying to run over little life preservers to get points.
Yeah. The putt-putt it's gotten actually a little bit better than when they first implemented it. It's hard because putt-putt is a crowded market in games.
Yes. Yeah.
I can imagine a time in which it wasn't, in which this would be a lot more impressive. And it's fine. Like I couldn't emulate a better putt-putt than this, but
yeah, I mean, just you've got like golf with your friends. Like this is going to suffer by being one mini game among many, like it is not going to be, it just doesn't have the focus. It is here to be here because that is the kind of game that would be at this kind of place.
Yes. Yeah. It's fine. And then the shooting galleries are pretty fun and are also ticket games. in this. I was surprised at how fun these are. There's like a classic rows of ducks go by one, and then there's one of them that I love, which is and is surprisingly common, where it's like a snapshot of a Deliverance style gas station. Like, imagine the gas station from Texas Chainsaw Massacre if every time you shot something, a whimsical mouse came up and sang a cowboy song or some shit like that. Like, it's real. Yeah. The scene they're emulating is very funny. It's the same thing. The Showbiz Pizza Band.
Oh yeah,
Rock and Fire Explosion used to hang out in this kind of dump.
Yeah, just again, just the crumbles have happened here. Something is terrible is going on.
Yeah, it's a Dust Bowl era shooting gallery for tickets. If you can shoot all the Grapes of Wrath, you get a bigger prize.
It's not a timing one either. Like the targets that you're shooting for are always out there, and they're just exceedingly tiny. Is the thing. Yeah.
So you just have to aim. And then there's air hockey in this. Or would you play against punks? Punks will come up and play. Like King Vid comes and challenges you. And this is, I think, surprisingly a pretty good air hockey thing. I played better video air hockey, but this is not bad by any means.
Yeah, this one, the problem that I ended up having with is, in order for your kind of handle for your hitter thing to like actually register any collision, you have to click. It cannot just be like, if you're guarding, it cannot be that like you have moved its model to overlap with the incoming puck. You do have to time a hit on it to get it to bounce back.
Again, I don't know if that's a thing that maybe was changed in the beta, but I didn't have that experience. I could just move it in front and kind of hit it.
Yeah.
So that might be a version difference thing.
So, but your strategies work on this. Like, it's good. Yeah.
And air hockey's fun.
It is. Although there is something lost without having that gentle breeze and the risk of getting your knuckles just fucking obliviated.
Absolutely. And the sound. Like, the sound is kind of emulated, but air hockey is one of the loudest, like, most unique sounds it's ever been.
Yep.
In terms of like new stuff that's totally new, there are arcade basketball.
Yeah.
Again, pretty cool. One of the differences between this and regular arcade basketball, I found out in my kind of rabbit holes, the pro move for this, if you want to win this in real life, is to pay for the table next to yourself so you can double the access to balls you have.
Oh, that sounds like cheating.
It is cheating. It's just how you win this game, because otherwise the balls do not roll back and fast enough for you to get maximum scores and get the jackpot.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all. I'm full of carnival knowledge.
No, this is good.
Ever since I married the carny wife, like, Liv has carny blood. She grew up in Renaissance fairs and stuff. So I've been, every night I have a dream about a new carnival game, and I wake up a little bit more carny. All kinds of STC going on.
Slowly the process will be complete.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's actually, since we're both infertile, it's how we reproduce. Every time we have sex, we try to turn the other one into a version of ourselves to asexually create more of our kind.
Jesus.
It's
fucking dark.
Yeah.
I'm just flashing back to the moment in the Fun Center episode when we talked about, like, sometimes it's real fun to just like physically do something and be good at it, and just we just
you ever move your arms.
You ever like just like throw a basketball at a hoop? It's wild, huh?
There's a physicality.
Yeah.
To lifting an object and letting it go that just cannot be matched by shooting in Call of Duty. Just two physical activity.
Two complete dinguses a decade in the past, like, just talking about, hey, aren't sports fun?
I have so much affection for those little idiots. I think that was really cute that we did that. I collect and treasure every dumbass thing I've ever said in my life. There's when I've been going to bed, like the last, like, I've been meaning to tell Will this because I considered it complimentary to him. But we were talking and everything to Guppy, and I was talking about how I could take a giraffe. And I think you and I went on a similar tangent, but I was like, what's the biggest animal you could take? I was like, I could kill a giraffe. And, he rightly called me out, cause that's, doubt. But I was describing it, and I wanted to say at the top of an enclosure to get down on him. But the thing I said, well, what if I was at the top of the zoo? And he responded with like, "You're at the top of the zoo," because that doesn't make any fucking sense.
That's a little kid
and I've
sentence.
been yeah, I've been smiling at that little kid sentence like every night before bed. Like, I'm at the top of the zoo.
Well, what if I was the president of it?
Yeah, I'm the leader of the zoo. It just I every dumb thing I've ever said, I absolutely adore.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Little idiots. Swinging a bat, it's different.
Ah, man, yeah. Just you're at a batting cage and the ball's coming right at you. You know,
yeah, it's very immersive. One of the things I like about this is that you in the claw game section of this, they have different prizes that are themed.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a crane game where you get stuffed snails or octopi. It's all sea themed. It's all nautical.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Nothing really new in the scraper games here. Like just literally just a different like a different principle of this. You're just trying to interpret the weird shape of the weird shape of the appendage that this thing is going to be scraped along. No big deal. But Ticket Toboggan is real fun. I like this. The timing of rolling the token down the ramp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is this the one where it has to land in the space but not go too far?
Land in the space but not go too far. Are you talking like I think you're thinking of the bowling game.
I'm thinking of the carnival game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember Ticket Toboggan.
Yeah. I could very consistently get this one. To get this one to pay out.
This has my two favorite ones in this though. Like, or sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was going to move along as well because like as far as timing games go, Wheeler Up is. I
love Wheeler Up. Wheeler Up and Combo Craze are both great, and they're both real fun in real life as well.
Mm-hmm.
These are actionably based on existing ticket games.
Yeah,
that are relatively new.
Which one? You mentioned one before, Safecracker. Is that the combo
That's
craze
combo
where
craze.
where you're just you're like hitting the button as this clock arm goes around and hits the
single player tennis, almost like where you're playing both sides. Like the ball is bouncing back and forth between two little dots.
It's like tennis ball or a tether ball. Yeah, tennis ball.
Yeah. Both those I think are really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Wheeler Up is really cool. You press a button to release a ball, and it goes into these little rotating slots, and you want it to get into certain slots that are worth certain amounts of points that will carry it past a pitfall.
Mm-hmm.
And you repeat this challenge 3 times with increasing difficulty to get to the top and spin a bonus wheel. Yeah. You can very consistently get that bonus wheel in this.
Yeah. Just a matter of, again, like you've got just like a real one of these, you have to put in a few bad coins to get a good one out, just as you observe the behavior of it. Not redeemable. Man, this pinball game is abyss, huh?
It doesn't work. I admire that he tried it.
Man, that is ambition. I think that
it's big ambition.
Yeah.
This should probably go out of order.
Yeah.
It's very, I talk about the ethereal beauty of this and this feeling like you're living in a simulation. There only being one pinball, pinball theming the town around you, or like being themed at of your surroundings.
Well, this is Islandville, quote, the game.
Yeah.
Unquote, like pinball edition.
That is huge. Like you've been trapped in the Lady of Pain's maze, like that is Malkovich's shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not very good.
Yeah.
Pile Up's fun. Like where you're balancing, a platform left and right. It's a Game & Watch.
Yeah, it's an iOS game kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just trying to build a stable tower as the blocks drop.
Yeah. There's a couple just luck-based games. There's one that's like a roulette where you choose a color and you bet where a ball will land. A Plinko, which is real good. And also as a kid, like you're probably satisfied with Plinko.
Oh yeah,
because I was. And then Mega Drop Extreme, which is a big version of Mega Drop.
Yeah, Mega Drop from Larry's Arcade. It's literally nothing. It's just where's the ball bounce kind of thing.
Yep. So all luck.
Yeah. Something that like this particular kind of fun center does kind of bring out that makes it kind of okay. So a lot of the games, if you went to this kind of place now, would be like licensed versions of like home experiences. Basically, how like there is just in Fun Center is just like most of the games are Fruit Ninja and Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
As arcade games, you know? And
yeah, they're all translated, and these are all bespoke.
Yes.
Kind of things.
Yeah. Individual amusements. I just as part of like research for this, I went and just looked for like website and distributors, mostly to get like to see if there was a consistent terminology. And I couldn't, but there are websites of active distributors who do still sell these things.
Yeah.
You know, probably
they
not
show up
as
from time to time on Facebook Marketplace, like when I'm browsing that for like old arcade games and shit.
Oh yeah.
And I've I've been like, man, do I want to own like a claw machine? What would I do with it?
That's the thing.
It's kind of a baller way to display, trinkets.
Yeah.
But man, is it just a large footprint.
This is a trap that I think a lot more people fall into when I'm at Sam's Club or Costco and they're selling like a home version of a like a popcorn machine.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we can get a popcorn machine. And it's like, you can make popcorn in your stove, dude, right?
My favorite version of that is the gigantic thing that warms up an absolutely immoral number of hot dogs and buns. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like a big thing that will cook and steam the buns and cook the hot dogs if you want to have 60 hot dogs.
If you want to die by hot dog.
Like you've heard of suicide by cop. But what if you could do it at home? So there's a little carnival set up on the island.
I love this.
Of course. Yeah. Again, just beautiful, very well observed.
Yeah.
The carnival's in town this weekend. What a, array of riches. They're set up down by the Southern Pier. It's near this nature trail you can walk on, which we mostly talked about the creepy ambiance of that.
Yeah.
There are rides here. It's cool. Again, this feels like a verisimilitude thing to me.
Yeah.
Like, of course there'd be rides here. And it's part of the fantasy of being a kid. Like, it's not very fun for Gary, the player, to do this, but Gary, the little avatar, if he was partaking in the fantasy, he would love to just be able to go on as many rides as he wanted.
Yes.
For free.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, if you want to accurately recreate this space, you can't just have the games. You need to put the rides there, and if the rides are there, people are going to want to play. People are going to want to ride them, even if it's just once, to figure out like, oh, why would I go on a Ferris wheel in a video game?
Yeah, it just models the physics. It's a neat object.
It would feel.
And one of the
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say one of Kevin's big values in this that he talks about in the threads on the community hub page on Steam is that if there's going to be something in the game, it should work.
Yes.
In a general sense, like, he says like, oh, I got very concentrated on the games and stuff, and a lot of the prizes don't do anything. From now on, if the prize can be functional, I want it to be functional. He's really going for this high level of sim.
Yeah.
For it.
Love it.
Yeah. And you get to play a bunch of carnival games, like Midway game.
It's so good. And they're different games. Like some of them operate on the, just similar principles, similar interaction models that we found before. But there are different ones here, and you don't get tickets. Like you put in time at a booth and earn prize tickets. So by winning a bunch of games in a row at a particular booth, you can get a more desirable prize off the back of it, which is neat.
Yeah. And this is also, if you're playing survival mode, this is where you break it, at least early on. So there's a variant on a coin pusher here where you can aim the coin. That's cool. There is the balloon popping where you throw the darts. This was always the game that I enjoyed as a kid playing, and we could win as a kid. And here, this is how you break the game.
Yes.
You can go at it from the side, and you can hit 2 balloons with 1 dart.
Oh, really?
It costs, you get 1 prize point per dart, and you get 3 darts. So if you do it from the side, you can get 4 points per game, which you then buy the flamingo or what have you. And then you sell that, and it's worth 22 coins. So it's $4 for 22.
Nice.
You just load up your inventory and become a weird Oregon Trail like guy. It's very similar to my friend Derek dyeing cloaks black in Ultima Online as a job. I'm a balloon popper jockey now.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
This is, I mean, like, as far as carnival games go, this does seem like the easiest for a kid and also the hardest to rig. Like,
Yeah.
maybe you could dull the darts, but I mean,
They
balloons
do,
are,
and
yeah,
they dull the darts, and you half inflate the balloons.
yeah,
That's the way that carnies try to get you with this, but you can still do it.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's carnival patter at this as well.
Oh,
So like if you win, winner, elephant ear dinner, which just made me want an elephant ear, which is nonsense because obviously you want the funnel cake because that's more
yeah.
surface area.
And the elephant ear is just kind of like a weird pancake.
Yes.
But in the survival mode, if you're out and you didn't pick up groceries for your trip, like your day trip to earn money, the elephant ear is an economical way to get some more energy to spend some more carnival stuff. It's the most economical item you can buy at the carnival. There's the shoot the star game. This is the strategy you use in real life for this. I couldn't get to work in here, but this is, you have a rapid fire BB gun that is poorly maintained and has crappy aim. Yeah. And you have to shoot out all of the star, eliminate all the red on this little paper target. The way you win this in real life is you do a circle around it to try to punch out the entirety of the star. You don't just try to hit all the bits of the star.
Yeah.
I could not get that to work.
No. This actually, there's a game that this developer had made that was just this. I forget the name of it. It was kind of generic. It was like shoot 'em or something like that. So like he just had this sitting around and decided to bring it in wholesale, which was nice. Nice way of repurposing an old project.
And it fits.
Yeah. And I like I have good memories of playing these as a kid because it's real fun to play to shoot something that fires so fast like this does.
Yeah. It is the closest a kid gets to firing a machine gun.
Yeah.
Except for kids in certain parts of the world, like Conscripted or kids in Kojima games.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's the closest that most kids are going to get to firing a machine gun. Yeah. Not the child soldiers.
Oh, no. You always got to bring up child soldiers.
I know. The creator made me. There's a Lucky Duck. This is the game that everyone's a winner usually in actual arcades, where you pick up a duck from a pond. Is purely luck, but they modeled it successfully.
Chow time, which is again, I never understand this, the metaphor in this. You have a water gun that you are shooting at a target. In this case, it is a moving doghouse, and it is making these Dachshunds, little wiener dogs, race on the lanes on top. This has almost always been like horse racing themed for me.
Where you're shooting a clown in the mouth, though.
Yes, yeah,
a lot of the times to make the horses go faster. You're really sticking it down a clown's throat. You're really drowning a clown in gummies to get your horse to come in first.
Yeah,
it's weird.
What do you think clown broth would taste like?
Makeup.
Boil a clown. Yeah, probably real oily.
Too much makeup. Yeah, too much like pancake makeup, which doesn't taste like pancakes. If it did, then like maybe we'd be in business.
Yeah, maybe we'd be okay. But you're just rolling just boiling the bones. So
yeah, at that point, like eventually it probably wouldn't taste like, it would just taste like long clown.
Yeah,
but
okay. Yeah. And then this is the one that you mistook the toboggan one for, the pro roller, where you're rolling the ball up the rail. Real hard to get a sense for when you are not.
Yep.
When it is not your like actual like proprioception.
Yeah, hard even with your proprioception. This is a hard game. Possible but very difficult.
Yeah.
There's one final arcade on the island, the UFO arcade. Which is alien themed and would be a great place for you to stand on the roof at a certain time, get abducted and sent to a secret experimental arcade. Just throwing that idea out there. This is in the southeastern portion of the map.
Yes. Down near UFO Point. And this is like an upscale fun center. Like it's got the arcade stuff in it, but there are also these bigger attractions that I put at the end, so we didn't just end on, and then there's a crane game, but there's a cow.
Yeah.
It's called Dude, Where's My Cow?
Yeah. Even though that is the case, there is that. Yes. So this is where you get introduced to the other mascot character of the game, Popcorn Pete.
Popcorn Pete is so hideous.
He is not good looking.
Nope.
As a guy. He looks really, because he's a popped piece of popcorn, which means he's real craggly and surface area-y. In a way that we want our mascots to be smooth generally, not be quite this complicated. Kind of fascinatingly enough, if you're in the beta, in this arcade and then also in the mall, there is a Space Invaders clone that is Popcorn Pete getting into Snowball Fight. It's the first arcade game that's in there, which is interesting to me. That's going to happen.
That's a whole other game.
I know. That's Arcade Paradise, which is a more slick and professional simulation and arcade emulator than this. It's just not ethereally beautiful. If he's going to open up that door, which it looks like he's going to, I could really see this being a thing that just continuously gets updated forever and becomes a denser and denser kid fantasy. Like if this had fun, cool games in it, even if they were just like Breakout clones and Space Invader clones, like that adds a lot to me.
That's what's in Arcade Paradise. I mean,
yeah.
So like, is it a good Space Invaders kind of?
It's okay. Deal? It's better than the pinball.
Okay.
Significantly better than the pinball. So,
but yeah, I think I saw that, but it was out of order in the main fork of this.
Yeah, have not released it yet. The coin pusher, the way this works, that has this is if you get all the cards, you get a Popcorn Pete plush, which is a hard item to get and furnish your little room with.
I put so much money into this trying to get it. I couldn't get the white card to spawn.
And then immediately drowned Popcorn Pete in a river. Immediately made soggy corn.
Yeah. This coin pusher, Popcorn Pete and Friends, is the most like complicated and intricate of them.
Yes.
Like there are like 3 different timing elements that you're aiming for. Stuff like that to try and get the cards to spawn in addition to getting stuff to push off.
Yep. There's a version of Knockdown Clown, but it's not down a bot where you're knocking down robots. I love Knockdown Clown, even though I prefer not to throw the ball. I like the little gun that goes foomp.
Oh man, can you make that sound again for me?
Foomp.
Oh man,
it's incredibly pleasing, right? It's Knockdown Clown with the cannon.
The cannons, I love
those
it.
clowns.
I
fill their mouths with cum until they drown, man. That clown throat.
Coming after that cloat.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that cloat, like clown Doris, and Laphbias. I don't know. I don't have one for labia. Anywho.
Got anything else? Anything else you want to? Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, but no, I don't think so.
Yeah. But like just with the
circus cervix, like as a surface cervix. Like
there's an Aquid. There's a porn actor character named Clown Penis. no, it's not Clown Penis. Circus Penis. There we go. I got it wrong.
This is really good.
Circus Penis is amazing for a porn star name.
That's really good.
Oh God! I said Clown Penis. I'm thinking of clownpenis.fart, the SNL sketch, where it's a law firm and there were no more URLs for them to get. So the only one they could get was clownpenis.fart.
This is pretty good. I know because it's on SNL, it would be 1,000 years too long, but that is a funny concept. There's a couple dexterity games here. There's Whack-A-Mole with robots. So that it makes sense for there to be Whack-A-Mole, of course.
Yeah.
Iceberg Bounce. I ran into this in real life for the first time when I was in Vegas.
Oh.
What this is, you have to hit all of the these little bits to turn them blue, like all of these limited number of ping pongs, and you have to hit all these glowing plastic shapes.
Yeah.
To change their point value.
Yeah.
The one I played was like blackout, like you wanted to make all of them one color, as opposed to getting this one. It tallies up your points total.
Yes, and the ones you already hit are not worth as many points.
Yeah.
The idea being trying to figure out, to throw it and bounce it in such a way that it hits as many as possible. Yeah.
Yes.
I love a ping pong ball. It's real satisfying. To bounce one of those. Yeah. Clock Tower is a good one. I like this because it is just skill based enough and it plays well with the physics. where you're trying to guide this ball on these cogs by spinning the wheel. This is the one that made me want the Avalanche, or sorry, the Aftershock game in it.
Yeah. It's neat. And it's got a partly a cool spatial, like a spatial puzzle. Like if you turn this gear, which way will this gear turn?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit there. The two big attractions here are Laser Zone, which is a very it's laser tag. Mm-hmm. It's a very awkward and slow first-person shooter against 4 AI robots. It's not particularly
shit,
good.
Man. It did make me want to play laser tag, though.
It's laser tag is cool. It's not quite there as far as emulation. Like this is a game with first-person shooting in it. You start out with a little rubber band gun in the game, so you can annoy your friends and fight off punks.
Yeah.
In this, but it doesn't work very well in this.
No.
And then the go-kart racing, which I really like. Getting driving to be fun in this is like the next big milestone it feels like it has to accomplish.
Yeah.
Because it's not, it doesn't work here, and it doesn't even really work when you're out in the world. Mm-hmm. Like it's all pretty janky.
Yeah.
Here.
But like this shows promise. My problem wasn't so much with the kart racing itself. It was more that like the lap counter kept on getting messed up as I was going.
Yeah.
Which I imagine it's way harder to get that right than I think it would be, so, all kinds of grace to the creator on this. But yeah, that did put a bit of a damper on it, but it's also super easy to win, except some carts are tuned very quick and very aggressive, and they will spin you out.
Yeah. Well, that's the real trick to go-karting as well. They're not properly maintained.
Like when I schooled your ass.
Yeah, exactly. Some of them just go faster. Like we could like it'd be weird for me to hold a grudge about it, and I don't care about winning things. Okay. But if we're driving next to each other and we are both pedal to the metal, like your cart just went faster.
Okay. Right.
That happens. They're not regulation.
No, when I was saying schooled your ass, it was when I spun you out.
Oh, gotcha.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, that was fair credit. That was skill. That was skill based. I thought you meant when you won the race.
No,
my car
I
just
don't
didn't
care.
go very fast.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, who could win that race? Like we kept on going.
Nobody
else was there, and they kept on giving us free laps.
It also we could still be there now if we wanted to. Like it never ended. You know what sucks about that? That was at Bullwinkle's. They remodeled that place and it sucks now.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, they made it much more modern. They have way more area now devoted to food and drink, including getting rid of the animatronic Bullwinkle, Boris and Natasha.
Oh, that sucks.
I know it's the namesake of it. And it also means that somewhere they're in a storage room or like in a fun dumpster. Yeah. There's a animatronic Boris and Natasha and a Bullwinkle. I got to drag that thing home. Bring it to life. Yeah. It sucks. It's not fun anymore. I was very excited to take Liv, and it's lame now. Yeah. So, the mini golf is still good. Like the outdoor stuff is all still pretty good. Changed. It's just the indoor part's not fun.
Did the batting cages work this time?
The batting cages worked.
Okay.
Yeah. So very surprised that they kept that up, because it takes up a lot of space and it's not particularly popular. And even if it's really buzzing, you're making like $13 an hour on it.
Yeah.
They're so generous
to maintain just a nightmare hell machine.
Yeah. Just like a robot that tries to kill kids unless you tune it a specific way.
Yeah.
There's a couple other little places on the island, which we talked about. There's, a couple different nature trail areas. There's a mountain you can go climb. There's nothing there. There's garbage you can scavenge from campsites, but really it's just there to be creepy. Yeah. And to fire like a child's idea of exploration, right? Like, in video game exploration, we assume there will be things there because it's authored. One of the things, again, on my this game is ephemerally beautiful point, is that this is on like a space that has the mundanity of real life. When I would go on nature trails or mountain, or kind of go explore in like a little nature area, it's pretty rare that you find anything.
Yeah.
People like to talk about like, oh man, I came to this clearing and the sun came through and it was just a really special spot. And like, yeah, sure. But it's like you're finding cool monoliths and like, caves and stuff most of the time. Like sometimes that kind of stuff happens, but not very often.
Yeah.
More
often you're going to find a place where like teens drank a couple nights ago.
Yep. Yeah. So it has that. I love being in this world.
Yeah.
I have, this is the end of the episode.
Yeah.
There's no story or anything. You play survival as long as you can. And then you play birthday mode if you just want to explore. And you should buy it. I've stuck with this since we did an Abject Suffering and poke at it every once in a while. Like it hasn't left my hard drive.
No.
And has been I just have a little bit of time to kill.
Yeah.
Like a consummate, I just have a little bit of time to kill game.
Well, I mean, and stuff is being added to it like just frequently enough as well. I was looking back at it and just like, stuff is being added like maybe a big update every 3 months or so, which is about how often I would like think to stop, like remember that this exists, right?
Yes.
Like it doesn't seem like a kind of game that even really wants you to like keep coming back every day, because there are
people who do. Yeah. Like there are people, if you have like the people who do are collectors or gambling, like aficionados, like they're enjoying the gambling aspect of it. And I get that, like to a degree. The meta is what's interesting to me, and going back every couple months and seeing what is literally new.
Yeah.
Really doing it for me. I can't wait to see what movies they have when the movie theater opens up, because they're just going to have little robots going through and acting out little like romance scenes and shit. It's going to be silly.
It's going to be extremely silly. Yeah.
It's going to be real fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully you can get a little Alanis Morissette bot to go down on you while you're there. Or the little Dave Coulier bot to go down on you, as it were.
Oh man. Yeah. Just a treat of a game. I'm really happy to see that they're still plugging at it.
Yeah, me too. And again, this is ending with a sell. Like we're not paid for this. This isn't a commercial. I know it's probably seemed like it at certain points. I just really have a lot of affection for this and want to see it do well.
I do. And, it's one of those things like we talk a lot about like, oh yes, we're old, right?
Yes.
Not, if I called myself old and in front of somebody who's like way older than me, they would, go that. But like when in terms of people who are on the internet and listening to podcasts and stuff, we definitely grew up in a time that is, there's this kind of thing. It doesn't really feel like it's as available as it was when I was a kid, like the number of places that were like this, I as an adult who is interested keep track of them. And they're just like the ones that I went to are gone and nothing has really popped up to kind of replace them. Right. So having this thing that is made by somebody who kind of looks like they're about my age, who very obviously has lived a bunch of different iterations of this and has a pretty good ethic about representing as much of it as he can in the product does make this feel like a little bit of a time capsule put together, trying to bottle up something that is definitely gone. Right.
Yeah. It ends up also, you mentioned this person being roughly our age and having similar nostalgic concerns. Like it does make me feel like, I've found my people in a weird way. And like, watch, I hope he doesn't become milkshake ducked between when we record this and that happens. Right. But like, it makes me feel like, oh, like I get this.
Yeah.
I get the appeal of this. This is directly for me. This person identified something I didn't know I wanted and then made it.
Yeah.
And that's a really special feeling, I think.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. Real quick shout out to games that scratch similar itches to this. I mentioned Arcade Paradise a few times.
Yep.
That game is really cool. It's got a much more robust life simulation lemonade stand aspect, and the games that are in it are much more polished. It's not as ambitious in terms of what it's trying to emulate, but it scratches some of the itch.
Yeah.
And then throwing it on the future WAF at some point, Thief Simulator or American Theft 80s, which have a similar level of jank and handcraftedness to them, and also fulfill a fantasy. And that fantasy is letting yourself into any house in the neighborhood.
Yeah. And just like a bunch of games that exist in this particular kind of trench, the indie simulator kind of game, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like, this is more a business sim, but it is like definitely not as encompassing as this, but like it is a whole vibe. But Gas Station Simulator is
Yeah.
pretty similar as well. Man, that's a fun game.
Similar to like what My Summer Car was
yeah,
going for, which we also did on Abject Suffering. It's got similar things to that.
I need to pull out My Summer Car again. That was fun.
Yeah. Or even just like the beginning waves of this kind of thing. Like I loved Euro Truck Simulator and those things, which are much more limited in scope. But it's got a similar kind of vector of appeal, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's coming at it from the same angle.
You
know?
So. Yeah. It's just I don't know. It feels like we are just describing sometimes it is nice for there to be a modest product that is almost entirely devoid of spectacle.
Yeah. I mean, that is it, you know, and devoid of any kind of pretension or any kind of aspiration, you know, like comparing this with Shenmue. When I think back on Shenmue and like, you know, I'm not a big fan of that game. On the record, one of the things I think about it, in addition to the fact that I feel like it wastes a lot of your time, you know, like go talk to everyone in the village before you can move on, go do this stuff. It's that it's not focused on this stuff. Like it feels like it accidentally did what this game did on purpose, but did it worse. Right?
I mean,
like,
did it about 20 years beforehand as well.
Well, for sure. But just like, it's not the focus of it. It was never a game about driving forklifts and stuff. You have this overarching father murder story that goes nowhere and is dog shit. And they never finished it and they never will. And it takes up a lot of your time in that game. Like you spend a lot of time grinding out the fun part of it to try to learn a move so you can get past some jabroni in ancient kung fu. Like it's a grafting ill befits a lord. It's not they don't work in partner with each other. If that game were just like go play Outrun or go play Space Harrier, Yahtzee. You know, that would be a cool game.
If it was just small town, small Japanese town in the 80s simulator, Yahtzee would be the perfect word for it. And that I think is what a lot of people remember when they think about, you know, when they think back fondly. On that, you know, it is, you are compressing away kind of the tedious bits of that. And you know, the coin game represents kind of a condensation of that good stuff, as opposed to you know,
having to selectively remember in order to round something up. You know, and it also adds this real weird touch to it, like a lack of polish that makes it weird and eerie and lonely. And stuff. It's similar. I would play more Yakuza games if they just were about the side stuff too. You know, I don't want to fight in those games. I just want to like live. And that's the part everyone talks about. And the stories in those games are good. I just don't like the central mechanic part of any of them.
Tappa combat stuff.
It's really bad combat that you spend tons of time on. You know, why? Just give me the coin game, but in the town that Yakuza takes place in,
please.
You know, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you everybody for listening. We appreciate you. If you have things to say about this game, or you have things to say about Cuphead, Mark of the Ninja, or Crisis, please send us email at duckfeed.tv/contact by March 15th.
Go to duckfeed.tv/contact and then use the little form there to submit. And if you have thoughts about multiple games, please separate them into multiple responses if you could. The deadline is always the 15th of the month. So if you have things to say about April's games, which are Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights, The Sexy Brutale, or The Quarry, write in by April the 15th.
Crisis and The Quarry are premium episodes, which means everybody gets the generalities. Patrons at $5 and up get the full shebang. And that backports. If you give us $5, you get access to all the old ones of those. So it just gets better. So if you decide to support us at patreon.com/duckfeed.tv, $5 get you all those, as well as bonus Abject Sufferings and our show Unfilmable. $10 get you even more. Get you a couple of bonus shows. If you have a project, if you are not a cis, white, straight, male creator, you have a project you'd like to possibly get some more eyes on, please send me an email at gary@duckfeed.tv and we'll shout it out.
If you're in the Midwest, come to see us at the Midwest Gaming Classic happening from March 31st through April the 2nd. more details on social media to come.
Yeah.
That is that is in Milwaukee. I believe at the Wisconsin Center. It's what it's called as the venue.
Yeah. Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes.
Not Milwaukee, Oregon, which would be convenient for me, less convenient for Cole. And it was gonna be really fun. Come say hi.
Yeah.
And we'll be back in a week for Mark of the Ninja.
Yes, we will.
Big thanks to Gwen.
And, our producer Gwen. Thank you.
Thank you. And please rate and review the show on your podcast directory of choice.
Yeah.
And what should they watch out for until next time?
Don't get Black Mirrored.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't let your mom get Wi-Fi.
Yep. Get your mom's. You've heard of your mom's WAP. Don't let your mom's WPAA get in the way.